right now, I think they're gonna wait another 9, 10 years because you have to wait to the country. They're shutting it down because they're going green. So now 30% of their power. That's why they're having all these blackouts and all these shutdowns and all this shit that's taking place in California. Now you
Yeah.
can't charge your like your Tesla car because they're trying to conserve power. So they don't fry their own grid. Because if everybody continue to use the same power, but they shut down a nuclear power site, two of them that control 30% of the power to the whole state, and everybody's still trying to use it the same, it's gonna override the grid and fuck up everything. You know what I mean? So
No,
they're trying to
that's
send out warnings and they're trying to send out don't charge your car this. Like they're purposely like shutting it down so that they don't override the grid and fuck everything up. You know what I mean? So, bro, it gets deep, bro. Like it gets deep, and we know who that country or and like I call California a country because that's basically what it is, bro. Like it's basically ran by China.
let me ask you this, Kulu.
What's up?
Let me ask you this.
What's up?
Putin just declared martial law for 3 of the region of his country, right, today. And he basically putting them in a shelter, and he said he finna nuke. What you think? You think that's true? You think he said that out his own mouth, but I'm saying, they active. So I'm saying, what you think about that? Think it's true?
Yeah, I mean, like you gotta think about it. At this point, he has no choice. Like there's no going back and just stop going to war, and the people just gonna let you do what you did. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna come and get you.
Well, who you think he gonna nuke though? Us or Ukraine?
He's gonna nuke Ukraine, and what's gonna happen is the U.S. is gonna respond back, and then he might try to hit the U.S. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's like I feel like it's not gonna be in a big area, bro. And the reason I say that because you gotta think about it like if he hits a big area, then like that's when the whole force is gonna come at you. But if you hit a small country, a small city, small area of land that that's a farm or something like that, you know what I mean? Then they may not go as hard on you. You know what I mean? Bro, think about it. Like they're not gonna strike back and blow up. Like, but let's say if Russia, sends a nuclear attack or nuclear missile and destroys a town and kills 2 people and $4 million in damage, right?
Yeah.
The United States like respond back and destroy Moscow, a city of 10 million people. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people gotta get that out the question. Like it's not gonna be any major city, shit like that. Like, it's gonna be small village, small city type, exchanges. But I think what Russia's doing is they're gonna do Ukraine, areas of Ukraine that will push their border back further. Because the major issue was way back when Obama and all them were in. They were trying to bring missiles up into Ukraine. You know what I mean? But they couldn't do it way back then. And all this stuff, Biden and his son, and all that other stuff. You don't want to go too deep into that, but yeah, bro, it's all connected to that.
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep.
Hey,
Bro,
you know what I mean? So
Kanye West said that this war is really because Biden and his son invested money in Ukraine and they trying to protect some evidence.
no, I agree, bro. And that's the thing too. Is like you got to think about this stuff goes deeper back than just Biden, bro. Like this stuff goes back to Bush, all that. You got to think about what they're trying to do in Europe, right? With NATO and what NATO really is, how they're basically NATO is the U.S. overseas, basically. It's like their sister. Like their sister force overseas. So they're trying to encourage other countries, European countries, to join their force, and ally with them. And Ukraine is right on Russian border. Like it literally was a part of Russia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know that it's a law that was in 1987. No, my bad. I think 1980s. Well, it's in the 80s underneath President Ronald Reagan, where they signed with NATO that they supposed to never ever make Ukraine join their legions.
Yeah, and they've been trying to break that ever since, bro. Like they've been trying to go behind that treaty's back, and you combine that with what like Russia already knows about the servers, the emails, right? That's how a lot of the Hillary Clinton stuff got out was was because of Russia. You know what I mean? And that's why they blamed it on Donald Trump. 'Cause Donald Trump used it against Hillary to win the election, so that's why they threw the Russia shit at him. You know what I mean, bro? Like it goes deep. You know what I mean? Like this shit's been going on way before Biden and all them niggas back there. But uh, this is about building up military power in basically Europe. Like an American version of Europe with all these NATO countries and shit like that linking together. And they just happen to try to, get Ukraine because it's right on Russia's border, which is a base like, but like imagine having nuclear missiles from another, from China, right, in Hawaii. Like imagine that close.
Right.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we were trying to do to Russia. If people got to understand that, and I'm not trying to sympathize with Russia or support Russia, but
I mean, yeah. Nah, I get it, because I look at it like that too, though, Kulu. Like, shit, you got this country that's right next to me that's clicking over motherfuckers I ain't fucking with. And now I'm surrounded by all my enemies. But I ain't
did you hear
sympathizing.
about did you hear about the Russia pipelines being blown up?
Yeah, they call it the friendship pipeline.
Yeah, a couple pipelines were purposely bombed, and Russia's trying to say it was NATO. NATO's trying to say it was Russia. Like they blew it up themselves, trying to blame NATO. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
But
So like a bunch of shit going on.
I'm trying to tell you, Kulu, if motherfucking Israel help Ukraine, that's gonna kick off more war. That's gonna kick off the biggest one. Cause I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying this. It's cause allegedly Iranians been giving drones to Russia to use on Ukraine. And Iran, the Persians is against the, so-called Holy Land, because they don't rock with that, the different religions type shit. So they got the equipment to defeat their drones and had air defense against them. And they was talking about giving it to Ukraine on the news. And Putin was basically saying, like, if y'all get involved, this gonna hurt our friendship. And if it hurt our friendship, he said he gonna do things that it never be a friendship ever again in history. Paraphrase. But he was talking shit. What you think about that, Kulu?
I believe it, bro. Like, we understand, like, Putin's getting old, bro. So, like, his time, he wants to leave a legacy. You know what I mean? I purposely think that all this stuff's happening, bro, is because he's trying to push his own border back. And I think there's bigger reasons to this, but I think that, you know, if if Ukraine's not going to abide by, and basically like the way that America tried to, and I'm not trying to blame America, but the way that they tried to distort that treaty, Benji, was they tried to influence their politics by, funding, like regimes and funding political figures in Ukraine, to be more American centric, so that they would sell gas and do other shit in benefit of America. You know what I mean? So, bro, like this has been happening this entire time. And this goes deeper than what you and I talk about with specific generals, specific politicians, who are connected directly to Putin. Because Putin was trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like Putin was trying to do the same thing with Ukraine as well, with the politicians, like influence politics. So, like, bro, like people have to know that, because that's why it's so important with the whole Trump Russia shit and what's going on in America, stuff like that. Hold on one second.
Alright. Man, this shit crazy, man. I don't know, y'all. A lot of shit weird, man. 2022. I knew something beforehand was gonna happen before 2020. I already said. My mama had a whole Facebook post. I said, y'all niggas better get ready. This shit finna get crazy. 2023, I don't know. In my opinion, it's gonna be a purge pretty soon. Cause I'm watching niggas in Chicago going crazy. I'm watching. He said it's only crazy to you, Benji, because you already know. Yeah, that's real shit. It's crazy. That's why I say that's what crazy mean when we call that shit crazy. On God. Because we expect it, but it was far from it's in our imagination, but far from our reality. That the fact that it came into the reality, it's happening. Shit, he said it's not gonna be a purge shit, bullshit. Boy, motherfuckers on a damn ride with rifles. Niggas never did that in history of Chicago. I don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. They sectioning off shit in Chicago now. Bro, it is a purge. You is in Washington or Seattle or whatever the fuck them states is. I don't give a fuck about the West Coast. But that shit over there, bro, is different, nigga. I'm telling you, I see a purge coming where I'm at. And it ain't even because of that law shit they passed. It ain't even that law shit. I just see more of tyrannical niggas and tyrannical whites clicking up against niggas who ain't fucking with it. I'm trying to tell you, that's what I see, because they letting these jail niggas out. They letting a lot of niggas out of jail. He said, I feel like it's going to happen before 2023. Nah, it might, but I don't see it happen before the end of this year. It got to be next year. It got to go into 2023 to lead up around 2024. But we gonna see. We gonna see, y'all. That's why I say it's a mystery. It's like motherfucking mystery box on Call of Duty. You don't know if you're gonna get the ray gun or a motherfucking knife. You know? Yeah, 2024, Kanye West for president. Nah, it's just playing. Hey, man, y'all better bring Ye in the office, man. Y'all better vote Ye in that motherfucking office, nigga. Let's see if that shit real. But if you get that nigga in the office, I'm gonna be like, hey, maybe our votes do count. Fuck you talking about. Nah, I was just playing. Fuck Kanye. Niggas still sell their soul, man. They still with the Jews, man, at the end of the day. Hillary lost because she wasn't appealing to the mass public. She stole the Democratic primary from Bernie that came out in the leads. I mean, to be honest with y'all, I don't give a fuck what they be saying though, but y'all try to tell you what this shit orchestrated. I thought we passed this test. I thought we realized that they told us that every president is related. And given the time period, they were gonna become a president and shit. Like, what the fuck? I thought we knew this already. This chapter a little different though, y'all. We need to see if they finna put a plug to their own system. Cause I think they finna put a plug to their own system for China to take over. But people don't get my thought process when I say I feel like this game we in is also about how to become the master of the slaves, which is us. And I think they in a race to become the new slave master. That's how I really look at this shit.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So the reason why I was saying stuff about like why I believe China's not gonna attack anytime soon, bro. There's too many weapons here. Like, this is the only country in the world, bro, that has almost more guns, like almost double the guns than people that exist here. You know what I mean? So China, not only do they have to get through our defense, military, soldiers, National Guard, police. You also got to get through the militias. You also got to get through the people who have guns. You know what I mean? So it's multiple layers if it gets the resources, if it gets land. So the most logical strategy is to basically just, bro, create like inward fighting where both sides start fighting like a civil war or race war. either both, you know. And you have the people fighting themselves. You have the prices of gas and resources extremely high, where people, like can't access it. And then you have their military overseas fighting in fighting in the war. So they're fighting on two fronts. They're distracted on two different fronts. You know what I mean? Like their people are fighting who own the guns, and then their military is overseas fighting in the war. Then you can go in and do what you need to do. You know what I mean? Like that seems like the most logical thing, and I think that that's what they're doing right now. And bro, if I got family military and friends, certain areas, and this stuff that we talk about, off camera, away from cell phones and shit like that, and like they're saying some of the same shit, like they think that this is what's happening with this whole wokeism and this whole, LGBTQ movement and how like cancel culture and all that shit that's taking place.
Hey, you don't think it's kind of, you don't think that whole, look, they say this is the age of Aquarius, right? Where everybody is waking, right? You don't think that's some bullshit that everybody woke, but we still ain't did shit yet?
All it did was make people believe that they got more knowledge than somebody else.
Yeah, that's
what I mean.
Yeah, that's how I look at it, because I'm like, because we got to really be honest, Kulu. We seen, like, let's be real, man. I know you seen shit on Instagram where you seen old footage of white motherfuckers standing with buildings that they said was Tatarians and shit. And then you see them flying in machines in the 1800s, but you never see a nigga. You don't see not one nigga in the background, not accidentally, nothing. Like, bro, you don't think these be robots making videos up and editing it and doing it perfect, making us believe everything because we see it in the video? Like magic? I don't know if you're going, Kulu, but...
Yeah, yay and nay. I think that there's certain things that people can create, obviously, but there's certain stuff that you obviously can't fake, you know what I mean? Because, you can verify from other people in the world who live in those areas, who post it on the internet. Like, the internet is what really fucked up the main power. Like, they didn't expect what they, like they thought they were using the internet for something else. Like, they didn't expect, everybody to have it and it to affect the way that it affects things today, you know what I mean? That's why they're trying to censor and block everything out. Because at one point, right, you can go to one network and they'll have a reporting of somewhere, then you go to another network, they have a different reporting, right? So who's to say what is true, right? But I say all that to say is that, yeah, they can't fake certain stuff, but certain stuff obviously that we can prove and verify,
Yeah, that's true. I do agree with that. But this shit is tricky, man. I don't know, man. This shit's spooky.
So, like, what do you think they're faking?
Shit. Our whole reality.
Explain.
I ain't trying to sound crazy or nothing, but I like the Truman Show. And it's like when you watch that shit and you as a kid, you like, damn, this nigga telling you, man, everything you see here is real and shit. Fucking with your mind already through that, you know what I'm saying? Showing you that. And then you look at real life and you going through like this experiment and this experience. And it's like, man, this shit it's real, but it's fake. I'm talking about, it's like the movie Matrix, bro. It's like you can really jump in. But it's not how these people saying on the internet, Kulu. I gotta simplify. Virtual reality, anything that's given to you in my eyes on a fucking platform like social media, I don't give a fuck if it's YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Nigga, if it's given to you on the VR, that's fake. I don't care how real it is. It's still fake. It's not real.
Wait, so if I take a photo and post it on my Instagram, you think it's fake still? Even though it's a photo of myself and my wife and my son?
No, I'm not saying that you ain't do the photo ain't real. I'm saying it's fake to me. It don't matter to
But
my
what makes it
reality.
fake? Explain.
It's fake. It's fake, but it's not. I'm not saying you fake. I'm not saying you.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like
Nah, I
these
understand
niggas
what you mean, but
uploading. I'm talking about what
I'm
they
trying to.
upload, like videos and shit. Not you taking a picture with your child or
Okay,
something.
okay. I'm
I'm
just
talking
trying to
about
have you
the
explain
spiritual shit.
and define it. Yeah.
But I'm
Okay,
saying
spiritual shit.
not me, you, an individual that's talking. That's real. That's we can feel pain, all type of shit. That's real. I'm saying how these niggas upload white people showing us technology in 1800. Rather I can see that shit on the video. That's fake to me. I don't give a fuck. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying that they ain't got that shit. I'm saying it's fake to me. I don't give a fuck.
There's certain shit, like there's certain video footage that you can obviously tell that they obviously try to make it look like it's the old time, with some newer type of technology, and they're trying to, like edit the video as if it's like an old quality tape. But you can obviously tell like 1950s tape, or 1920s footage. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's a
like, but
video on
it's
YouTube. Like,
like you
I've been on
gotta think
YouTube
like they
sometimes.
said it was slaves in that time period, bro. Like
Slaves or what?
1864, according to the fucking history that these niggas told us in school. But like I'm putting everything together in my
Yeah.
mind. Like I don't know how to explain it. I'm a Scorpio, bro. My mind travels with a lot of thoughts. So I gotta simplify it.
No, you
In
good.
school, they told us that 1864 Abraham Lincoln, emancipation, he freed slaves, nigga. He freed slaves, everybody chill. Alright, I get a little older. Not now, I'm talking about me, my mind. I get a little older, I find out before people start celebrating Juneteenth that everybody didn't get free because of the 30, 60, 90 border. The borderline that happened. It separated what happened when some slaves go to certain states based on the border that was set up. Alright?
Yes.
Now I'm also getting to this older now on the internet, and I'm finding out that these niggas got pictures in that same time period before the slaves were free, and it was fucking giant buildings and all type of shit. Like, what the fuck part of the story we missing?
So
That's what
my
I'm
question
saying.
would be, I would have to see those photos of before the time period with the giant buildings, like describe those photos, because that might be fake. But
I'm gonna show you one.
yeah, show me one.
Damn, somebody sent
Or
me
just
one.
describe it, or you could
Nah,
just
it's
describe like
you
what the buildings look like.
the energy building. I don't know what they call that shit. They really
Oh,
like
like the Tesla
energy.
coils and shit.
No. Nah, they energy buildings. Like Chicago Hall in downtown Chicago is one of them. It's one of the buildings that still stand that they consider an ancient building, but it was giants and shit. That was I'm gonna just show you an example. Let me find one. Cause I'm gonna find one. You gonna be like, yeah.
Well,
I'm
'cause
gonna go straight to the page. I got the page. This the page I follow. Just to look at this shit, cause it's a white person page, and they
and
be finding these pictures.
and I'm not saying what you believe or what anybody else believes is wrong, because my belief might fucking be wrong as shit. You know what I mean? I'm open minded. Like when new
I
information is presented, you know. But my
now
thing is
look,
like I have what.
now look. This is the page on Instagram, but I follow. These are supposed to be
Uh,
real pictures. Now look, if you read, he gonna tell you what year 18. I went through the show. Hold on, man. Where the slaves and shit at?
it's
It say
1898.
two men, and he gonna tell you who they is and more of the description, right?
What
He
city is
gonna
that?
tell you.
Chicago?
Nah, this not Chicago. I'm gonna show you Chicago one. That's the like. I'm gonna show you Chicago. But he said the man in the picture on the left is the young Joseph F. Smith. All right. Now this white boy who I follow on Instagram who do this, he in London, but he say that his daddy is on the museum and collect all ancient shit. So he be releasing these pictures and shit. So I'm finna show you Chicago, man, real quick, Kulu. Then I'm gonna let you talk.
Well, that's what the date said 1989, right? Benji?
You said what?
The date said 1989, right?
Yeah, that was just one of the pictures. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got hella pictures.
So I think a lot of the shit that they tell us is half truths, right? The best lies always contain some truth because that's how
Now,
people believe it because there's some truth in it. You see, hold on. Let me put this.
now I'm finna
Let
show
me
you.
see.
Hold on. I'm finna show you his Chicago edition. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, Kulu. That building that he do got, that's real. That's still in Chicago. One of the buildings, two of the buildings he talking about, that shit is real. That's our Science Field Museum. That's the building. It is had look on one of the pictures in that time picture that he got. I gotta find. He got so much.
Mhm.
But I know this shit could be fake. But it's just like, hold on, bro. I'm seeing technology these niggas got. They flying in a trash can, like this video footage and shit. I don't know what the fuck. Like this, man. Paris, 1895 and shit. I look for niggas. I be like, I don't see not a nigga in sight.
Oh, that's Paris?
That's 1895. I don't know where the fuck is
Bruh.
niggas.
Like, 1895, like, as you gotta understand, bro, like when it comes to other countries, like, I'm not, as studied. I'm gonna go cap. You know what I mean? Act like I know. I don't know if they were still involved in slavery or if they had them segregated in certain areas. You know what I mean? Like that seems like the Capitol building or like a main street in a major city. So to me, it don't surprise me why they don't have a specific group of people. You know what I mean? When it comes to like the United States, uh, like people gotta understand that like slavery really did happen. Like slavery is a real thing. Like like and people
No,
who
yeah,
try to make it seem like
slavery. Sorry, can I cut you off? You stopped. Okay, I was
yes,
just gonna say, slavery was a tool back then for these people to basically. If you look up, can you look up the Odd Fellows, Benji, on your phone or whatever, on your computer? This is very like if you're looking into Tartaria, the Odd Fellows is like the next step to figuring
Wait,
out
that's on
what's going on
Instagram?
there.
That's on Instagram?
No, yeah, you can look it up on. Just go on Google and look up the Odd Fellows, and then go to images, and you'll see the whole. They got the Bible with the fucking skull and bones and shit. It's the first Freemasons, basically. Before the Bavarian Illuminati, you had the Odd Fellows. And basically what happened is after this reset, these guys... Holy fuck, it's smoky outside. There's lots of forest fires where I am. But after the reset, once, they did the Chicago World Fair and they showed all the people of the old world what was coming in for the new world, they wiped out all these cities using some sort of weather technology. I don't know, HARP, like the old version of HARP, something to cause floods and earthquakes and shit. And they stole all the orphans and put them on trains to move into the new world. And they would indoctrinate them with this belief system that was disseminated through the Odd Fellows. That was supposedly a broke man's Freemasonry, but it wasn't. It was owned by the British, and yeah, it was an indoctrination
You know
camp for the
about this,
children of the
Kulu?
new world.
yeah. No, I've read about it and heard about it. Like it just like that specific stuff. Like it's just not like what I'm passionate about. Like to me, I look at other things, but nah, he's telling facts though. Like I'm not gonna lie, like he's
I'm
telling
It's
looking
facts.
it's
at it.
slavery. They took people from their families and enslaved them to be workers for the new world and taught them about Freemasonry and shit. It's essentially slavery.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
but
I'm
I'm
not gonna
saying
deny
though,
that it's not
now you
slavery,
know
but
more
I'm
about
talking
that
about.
building stuff. My bad, Kulu, but he know more
No, you
about the
good.
building I talk about. So, let me ask you this: why ain't no picture of slavery in that? Then what they had it then, man? What's up with that, man?
Well, because you're showing the 1891, right? So that's still there was lots of places that had like they hadn't been touched, but in the Americas and a lot these
Oh, okay.
Tartarian, Teutonic Knights Templar setups, There's
He
just
broke
lots of
it down.
schisms that happened that needed to.
He broke it down. He broke it down with the U.S. edition. Alright,
Yeah.
so look. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, they just see the
explain to
more
the people.
Transylvanian looking buildings.
Yeah, and explain to the people to chat that like not everybody was a scientist. Like not everybody who like not the average citizen was a scientist. Like you had to be trained. Like you had to have father
Hey, it's
that
the
was in that
same as
type of
now.
field.
It's the same as
Like
it
it
is
was passed
now,
down.
bro.
It's passed down. So you're exactly right. Like they passed it down through those so-called Freemasonry or the small like those groups and shit that they have and shit like that. Like that's facts. Um, that's facts though. Uh, But I think it
It's
happened, Benji.
fucking
I think
weird,
slavery happened.
bro.
I think
Like these buildings, all this shit. It's proof that this COVID thing is just one piece to a much larger plan.
okay. So let me ask you: do you think, and I've been talking about this with like other people as well, that the so-called diseases, and if you believe in that theory that disease like took out Native Americans, I don't believe it was a disease because they were dirty. I think it was a biologically, for like gain of fun, like a COVID, but more lethal. You know what I mean? It was the, like a design.
Well, back to
Like, what the
Tartaria,
fuck,
dude.
man?
Yeah.
They came up with
Duck
disease
hunting and
guns. They
shit.
came up with
1920. Who the fuck
the
who shooting this bitch?
yeah, dude, the Teutons, right? That's where the Titans,
But that's what I'm
super big
saying. Like,
motherfuckers that don't exist anymore because the Olympians wiped out the Titans. And what hair do the Olympians have? They have curly hair, anyways, right? Mixed people. Went down a
I'm
big
trying
rabbit
to
hole
figure
there.
out how the fuck they talk about the iPhone 14 got motherfucking good ass camera feature, boy. Back in 20s and shit, boy, they
No,
was
they could
killing
see
it,
into the
boy. Look at
astral
these
realm
pictures,
with
boy.
fucking cameras.
Like, how? Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way, bro. They lying to us, man. Somebody lying here.
Dude, they
Somebody
literally
fucking with me.
had cameras and machines that could copy paste images into drawings, which we're just now figuring out.
See, it like Benji, like here's the thing, like they had a lot of these like if you go look up like 1950s, 1940s, 4D machines and shit like that, it's like the VR that we have today. You know what I mean? Like they had like mini arcade machines that you would go in with the curtain and you put on goggles and you experience rain, wind, and all that shit, right? A lot of these technologies, they've been patented and had way back then. It's just a matter of designing them and then scaling them to a cheap way to where you can produce them mass across the country. And with when you do it and go that route and do it the cheap way, it's to maximize
Yeah.
profit. Is like you skip or you don't think of certain ideas of using this technology. You know what I mean? So a lot of the shit that we have today is like shittier versions of what they had way back then. Like
Someone said Tartaria is I want to just address that. Tartaria is a psyop only if you do the whole fucking look at the building. Look at the building. Oh wow, it's got stuff on it.
I look at it
Whoa.
like it's a psycho. It's like, bro, what? Ain't no niggas in that bitch on front of the grave, boy. Somebody lying here. It gotta be somebody black around here, boy.
Oh no, dude, that's why I said look at the Oddfellows, because a lot of the Oddfellows were African American, and they took these buildings and they put the brick on and made these new Oddfellows buildings for populating the earth with the new people, which is why you see all these giant guns and everything downsized and all these places. The streets look empty. Look, and all the men are wearing the same clothing and shit. And it's like, did they just import all these people and dress them up in the same thing? And now they all live here, right? Especially the French. Good thing you brought Paris, because the French, they waged war on these people. They believed that they were the rightful heir and that they deserved to fucking wipe out the originators of it.
What's going
Jesuit.
on, fellas?
Hey,
Look,
Kulu,
I
what you
did
think
just say
about
that
it?
Tartaria is a psyop, and I think that there's one reason and one reason alone why it's being pushed so hard now, especially within the truther community. It's around the fact that whoever's in control, right, the powers that be, want us to believe that we as humans didn't have the ability, we don't have the ability to create amazing structures, that we don't have the ability to create amazing technology. I'm not saying that technology didn't exist, but I don't believe that there was this like superhuman race of Tartarians. I believe that is just humans, and we actually
Well,
have
they were just humans. That's why the Teutonic Knights of the Knights Templar was run by a bunch of Germans. Okay, and this is the whole fucking Ubermensch shit, bro. This is their whole fucking racist eugenics shit. So once you get over the fact that you've been programmed in America to avoid all that and to not think about it because it's scary and it's like, oh wow, like fucking Hitler, right? It's real. They believed in this shit for a reason. The Eugenics Society is connected to the Theosophical Society and the Jewish Freemasons, everything else, for a reason. Bro.
That's true. And Theo's connected to the Gandhi, sparked the whole Gandhi movement, and helped switch up the whole political regime in India way back then,
So as a guy who moved, I moved from the U.S. I live in the U.K. now. I had a Polish.
Yo, Kulu, can you mute your mic? Sorry, he's trying to talk and it's like fucking with it.
So I had this Polish neighbor. I live in the UK now, and I had this Polish neighbor, and he was telling me about a few of the concentration camps and how they were demolished and everything. But his grandfather was one of the guys who was supposedly helping bring in food to the concentration camps, and they weren't what they were described to be in the history book. It was something that was more along the lines of a prison. But the people weren't emaciated. Because they were feeding them, because they needed their bullets, they needed their tanks to be built, and that they were using it as slave labor. But it wasn't the same as what it was, where it was just death camps. At least from two of them that I know. So and this guy I was talking to is a smart man. He's a trustworthy guy from Poland, where these all were. And you have to take everything with a grain of salt that you learn in American history book. Because history is written by the winners, and what do we actually really know?
Yeah, it's supposedly that this is some gematria shit. I don't know if people in this crowd know about gematria, but on January 27th, the Russians released the Jews from Auschwitz, and January 27th would compute in gematria into 127. Khazarian Jews equals 127, like blood drinker and North African. And when you look into the draconian bloodline and the don't tread on me flag and who runs the world and we got the eagle on our shit, it's all a joke. It's literally all fucking joke.
Have you heard about the how people are now paying like $7,000-8,000 for young people blood that's being donated at the moment because it is now being found by mainstream scientists to have restorative and regenerative properties to fight aging, right? I just saw this article 2 days ago.
I'm laughing.
I think it was on Yahoo News.
I saw a fucking ad on Apple News, and it was like blood donors, blah blah blah. It's just an image of like this lady like just sitting on her couch like reading, and then right below it was like the blood bags, and it was just like she's reading and she's like got her drink next to her, and then you got the blood bag news thing right below it. And it's like, dude, they're subliminally programming vampiric fucking concepts into people. Like, sitting on my couch drinking blood and getting younger. Like, so fucked.
But I don't know if you guys had this in high school, but in my high school, they used to come in with the blood bank used to come in, and they would ask all the kids for donations of blood because you're saving the world, right? You're saving people who need blood. But they would target us 3 times a year. They would come in to get the blood of the students. And,
they're probably doing rituals with your blood.
You're 14 years old and you get out of class for like 2 periods and you get a cookie. So everybody fucking did it, right? You know what I mean? I remember my senior year. I went and gave a bunch of blood and then just left and got really stoned and drank as much alcohol as I could. And I got real fucked up.
You ever went through that shit before?
Yo.
What was that?
You said no?
Anyway, fellas, I just wanted to give my 2 cents. I'm going to jump off now. It's getting late over here.
What bitch?
Okay.
I said you ever went.
Peace out.
Take it easy, guys.
You ever went through that before? Your fucking school coming and say donate some blood?
Yeah, no, I've never had that.
Yeah, but I never gave it.
I don't remember me doing that. That's fucked up.
You guys probably did some more fucked up shit. Like, you probably had, like, Cartoon Network come to your school or something, man. Like, America they have anything for the kids. It's fun.
America is a strange land, man. That's why on Grand Theft Auto they tell you in the game when you watch TV, they dumbed us down, man.
Wait,
Well,
what
just to
country are you
bring up the
from?
name. Sorry. Oh, you say
What
what
country are you
country
from?
am I from? I'm from
Yes.
Canada. It's a lot
Oh,
like
okay, okay.
America, but I was just gonna bring up the separation in the names and like what because this is all masonry and like faction bullshit. Canada is the Canaanites, right? And then America is the Amorites. And when you look into the Amorites, it's like connected to the Afro-Asiatic peoples, giants and stuff. And then Canaanites are like the fucking white mountain people, which makes sense why they would name Canada after that. And the original name for Canada was New Caledonia, which means old or New Scotland. So there's some old history with Canada and America, bro. Like the Tartarians were all over the place, or whatever you want to call it. The original.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I'm of the mindset and I guess a school of thought. I don't really believe in separation like America, Canada, Mexico. I think it's all one landmass. You know what I mean? Like I'm in that type of mindset. You know what I mean? Do you think that America, if we were to dig, let's say, I mean, all of America, Canada, Main America and like Mexico area, like if we were to dig deep enough, that we would find artifacts that show an even older history than what we're finding in Europe or Africa? Like, do you think that or no?
Yeah, I wouldn't say older than Europe, maybe like around the same period, because they found 15,000-year-old not campfires, fucking fireplace, fishing hooks in a boat in Haida Gwaii, which is in British Columbia, which would have originally been New Caledonia. So there's some weird, because 15,000 years ago, apparently that's when the pyramids were around, and they got boats and shit.
Wait, so you don't subscribe? Yeah. Wait, so you don't subscribe to the Anunnaki theory and like the Sumerians and shit?
I do, but I went deep into it, and I think it has layers of grandiosity that were applied by the winners.
Yeah, see, exactly. I think they're trying to use their universities and institutions to prove their Bible true. You know what I mean? By using this specific, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we don't want to know
Noah's Ark.
The post-deluge society, because if we figure that out, then we figure out the fucking, the loop system. It's fucked up.
Hey, what? It'd be crazy if, what if the shit they trying to make us believe really is true? What if that's what they really are, and what they really worship, and what they really conjured?
Dude, they worship the spirits from their ancestors. They worship the fucking titans, whatever, bro. Like, they sacrifice these beings because they have control over the world. Like, it's real, but it's not holy. It's not the Bible. It's not anything like that. That's why I said bring up the Oddfellows, because in their posters they have the Bible right below, like plastered on the poster to fucking like read our text, read our book of what happened, because you're the children of the new world and you aren't supposed to know anything from your ancestors. You're not going to get anything taught to you by old people. So we're going to compile it into a book and give it to you, and that's how you're going to learn about spirituality. That was the Bible.
Hey, so let me ask you, because to me, like anything that has to do with the Bible or these religious texts, like I don't just like I throw away, because to me, if like this planet is a lot older than what these books indicate. Like there were civilizations that existed on this planet that whether this planet has, I wouldn't say wipe itself out, but I guess cleanse itself, that we don't even know about. You know what I mean? That we don't even have books and shit. Like this planet's so old. So my thing is like, I was talking to, and I have a friend, his name is Max. He's an actual professor at a university. He's an organic chemist, and we were talking about Egypt, and we were watching one of these videos of these chambers below the pyramid that they found filled with water, and how there's a specific coffin in there. And we were talking about how if that water was moving or flowing and there was more chambers underneath that, that were connected to it, that you could get an electrical charge from that room.
Yeah, vortex energy.
Yeah, yeah, and if you have other channels where the water is leading to more chambers like that, have basically a big power supply. It's to generate an electric field for devices and technology and stuff like that to work within like a field range or a bandwidth range. And
yeah, dude, there's a big conspiracy with the pyramids essentially being grid expansion points, and not just places, because as soon as they tear vortexes into fucking whatever to get 0-point energy, space-time, whatever you want to call it, the fabric, ether, it allows for this infinite energy to flow in. But then it also creates this, imagine just a magic seal, right? The firmament, all that bullshit, that was created by these Egyptians, by these Anunnaki, whatever. It was created so that they could have a universe. It's it's a Saturn moon matrix. You heard about that? Right,
yeah, about the Saturn being star.
Aligned with
that'd be the sun.
Yeah, the system traps us in this reincarnation cycle. They created devices, whatever, in these Egyptian pyramids to basically get out of that and go straight to the source. But why is it that their spirits come back to their bodies when you open up the thing? And they got deceived. They got fucking deceived. And they created a false light fucking grid all over the world. That's why they got wiped out.
So let me ask you, and the reason I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to see like what areas you studied in, because I've heard a lot of the similar things, and I read
there's mercury in the fucking chamber. I was gonna mention they apparently found mercury chambers in the pyramid as well, which were supposedly
like pools filled with mercury.
Yeah, like to preserve the bodies of the pharaohs. The mercury was used, but I think there was something more to it. Yeah. All
that pharaoh bullshit with tombs and stuff. Like, to me, I've read some books about it. I'm not gonna theorize on it and stuff like that right now. But let me ask you: Do you believe in genetic reincarnation, like coming back through your own bloodline, so you were to have like a grandchild?
Sure, they fucking
So do you believe in that? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's the way that I think that they were able to advance quickly with mathematics and technology, because they figured out that if you can come back to your grandson or your great grandson, and you can, let's say, record or pass on your books, it's to the new version of yourself, and that you've already had studied and stuff like that.
Well, Hermes,
you can just pick back off where you left off.
Right, Hermes thrice born, bro. He fucking survived the flood. Right? That's crazy shit. Like, they definitely had necromancy, knowledge of how to reincarnate or whatever, for sure.
Okay,
and that was used in the pyramid. This grid system, probably that's a part of it. Maybe we're all pharaohs and we've all been channeling our ancestors. And it's fucking That's why we have this concept of the matrix.
Yeah, that's what I think is going on, and I think that we've mixed so much that we're all over the place. You know what I mean? If you think about it, if you go back in time, as we would all be consolidated in specific areas, but now, with the way that the populations have grown in today's time, the way we're able to travel today, it makes sense on how we could all be in different places. You know what I mean? And coming back. Okay. And that's how I think that they were able to actually, and to me, what the guy was saying about is just humans, but I don't believe aliens came down and gave us knowledge to build these temples and these stargates.
That's why I said the Anunnaki is a grandiose story created by the ones who walked the fucking floor of history. Is Torah.
They got movies off about it. A lot of the cartoons and everything we watch is about everything we talk about right now.
Yeah, they talk about this shit in Scooby-Doo. They talk about this shit in fucking Scooby-Doo and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Look it up. I'm not even lying. I'm literally referencing 2 real episodes of shows that talk about Anunnaki and fucking Atlantis in your fucking kids program, bro. They're not hiding it anymore. That's why all this shit's happening, because it's the fucking unveiling. And the reset's gonna happen.
Damn, and that's what I think happened, bro. Is with a lot of these civilizations, is like, bro, you could like think about it. If genetic reincarnation, if you could like do that with a specific group of scientists and people, and genetically, pick your what, your wife, woman, like based on her genetics, and like prolong your life through multiple versions of yourself, whatever, right? Then,
Yeah, that
bro, within 1,000 years, you can take basic chemistry to alchemy. You know what I mean? Just by restudying your stuff, and then let's say you're 22, you done already read through your material of yourself, and as a past life. Now, with your new self, like your new mind, and the way that you view life differently, you can now add on to your work. You know what I mean? And take it to the next level. You know what I mean? And that's how I think that they progress quickly, like within 1,000 years, to achieve building the pyramids, to achieve, it's developing acoustics so well that they
Yeah,
can,
dude, it's advanced
do this
death
shit.
rites. Why do the pharaohs always have the skull and crossbones symbolism? That's where it came from. Skull and crossbones symbolism comes from the Egyptians and the Phoenicians, and these people, they knew that there was a place beyond death, and they knew how to get there. They knew that they could come back, choosing to fucking come back from the Wheel of Samsara in a specific vessel, and it's fucking crazy, bro. Like, this is what Skull and Bones is about. It's about literally to get initiated into the original Oddfellows, which was just Skull and Bones for broke people or the orphans. Fuck, bro. They literally, they would come in with torches, and then they would blindfold you, and they'd prop you up on this toy goat that you're supposed to ride, and you'd have to like rock back and forth in it, and they'd push you off. And once you fell off the goat, they'd all laugh at you and say some like weird cryptic shit about like coming back to the world of destruction and fucking look what you've done. You failed again. And it's like some weird like you failed the Super Mario level, you got to restart, like reincarnation fucking thing. They're trying to like program them. And they got the fucking skull and crossbones. They got a dead guy in a closet watching you in the ritual. Look up Oddfellows initiation ritual. It's insane.
FT, y'all, Kim, what you think about that?
I'm gonna look into that when I get home.
Yeah, it's just this pharaoh fucking belief system that they've taken, right? And that's why they do these plagues and shit, to initiate people into the knowledge of it. And yeah, you either beat them or you fucking join them. Hegelian dialectic.
I think a lot of that shit, like that's what they believe in, but I think it's a lot simpler, bro, for like the average person.
When I was saying the goat fucking getting pushed, that's all symbolic, right? The goat is the age of Aries. Yes. It's also the fucking dragon. It's whatever your spirit animal. You fall off it and you're back into the world. So if you don't master the spirit, you don't master the fucking like your inner self, you're gonna reincarnate, and then fucking you're gonna have to go through life again. That was the ritual there. So they know this, or they believe in it at least. They believe in the concept of what you're just the genetic reincarnation.
And to me, as I believe in that, and I'm doing that, as we speak, as I'm gonna come back through my whether it be grandchild or great grandchild or whatever it is, once I pass to come through. But to me, as I figured out on doing this path, like if you were, let's say, a robot, or let's say Ultron, right? With each new version of your body, you would keep wanting to adapt it, keep wanting to improve it, right? With each new version, like you might have one that be flight, one that be underwater, transmedium, one that be like indestructible, right? Etc. So with each person, each life, you find a better woman, taller, more smarter, more intelligent.
Right.
So
that's the whole theory of the cycle of purification. That this new version of Earth is a cycle of purification to get to a more essential state of humanity over and over again, and refine the human spirit rather than a loose system. But I don't know about that one. I believe that that's a fucking psyop. They want us to fucking worship their Jehovah God, and But it's because Buddy down here, he reads the Bible and he believes vehemently in the Bible. But can we just bring up what we were saying earlier? How the Oddfellows took orphans, black or white, and originally they didn't have the fucking King James Bible. They didn't have the Jesus Bible. They had stories of their own people who were enlightened. And unfortunately, all these people were killed in a fucking mass culling, a mass plague, a COVID of the likes now. And the only people who were chosen to survive were the children who knew nothing about the history. And they were taken into these trains underground and sent all around the world, taken away from their homeland, their ancestral land, to then be re-indoctrinated with a new belief system through the Bible. And this was in the 1500s, fucking 1600s, up into the 1800s, and then that's the new world after that. So why would someone who believes in something pure and holy give out that kind of fucking energy, right? Like, we're going to take your kids and fucking reprogram them in the new world. We're going to send them to America. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with underground railroads, look into the caves of Malta, okay, and look into, well, I mean, people should know about underground bases and shit. That's, yeah, well known. But they had that before as well, spanning transcontinental. So how can you believe in something that was created or at least disseminated by the people who enslaved you? When we're talking about slavery, and essentially it started with the Dutch East Indian Company, or the Europeans, right? But before even Europeans, there was more specific names for this shit. It's not just it's not just the Jews, there is no one group with this. It's fucking odd fellows. Yeah. It's the odd guy. Guys who take this knowledge and they press it upon. It's New World Order religion.
Are you talking about like the official people that are bringing it into like what we know it today?
The first Freemasons, bro. These were the first fucking Freemasons.
I would argue that
they weren't just Jews. They weren't just like one group of people. We're falling into another trap with all this.
Where you're blaming, yeah. Well, let me ask you, because I would argue not with you, but with the idea that there's always been slaves. Like even if you go, like on other planets, bro. Like once you go to war with and you go for the resources or you need the material or the land or whatever, and you have them surrender, you can't you can't risk accepting them into your group because they can always destroy your group. You know what I mean? Or be double agents. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So you either have to kill them, or you have to use them as slaves. Like you have to enslave them and then sell them off as money or resources to another country. And then take that money that you got instead of then build your own or buy more weapons or whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always been
the idea that it's Jews is bullshit. That it's white people or that it's this. It's always been a thing, bro. It's always been a thing.
And when I talk about fucking the Odd Fellows and slave, that's just everyone in your fucking recent history. That's because of them. Because we don't remember anything post fucking or pre-deluge, pre-flood, pre-fucking mud flood. Everything is destroyed. It's why the saying, you've hit a brick wall, right? It's very ironic because if you go to all these old buildings, the Tartarian buildings, they're all brick now. You don't see it. You don't see the old history because it's all been bricked up. So when you say I bring up this shit just so that we can, that's like an open wound on all this shit. Like if you're asking yourself about Tartaria, if you're asking yourself about where did slavery begin, who started it, a good place to start is the Jews, is the Khazarian Jews. But beyond that, there's whole belief systems that align with eugenics and fucking all that.
Yeah, but it goes down deep. Explain to the people what the deluge is, pre and post, because some people may not know what that means.
So the Atlantean world is the Tartarian world. It's the advanced society, right? And the deluge, the flood, it's just whenever it all got wiped the fuck out. And all these buildings, they're either flooded out or they're burnt down. They're you can see rocks that are melted in with buildings and shit. And something happened, around the world that wasn't just a flood. So it was God fucking, it was Armageddon. And these people
Wait,
had
you think
underground.
asteroid, or you think asteroid? You think
Asteroid, fucking solar flare, like something
flare?
that fucked with the electromagnetism of the Earth, like around, all around. So that's, yeah, they either initiated that or it happened naturally. I don't really know. And this is like, you know, the Billy Joel song "We Didn't Start the Fire." The fire's been burning since the world's been turning, right? And he starts talking about fucking JFK and fucking all these conspiracies in that song. We didn't start the fire. Read the lyrics. It's a very fucked up Easter egg in music. But yeah, like they knew this cycle was coming, or they didn't. The point is that everything got fucking destroyed and they went underground. And this is the Naga or whatever the fuck underground. The Ant-Men from Hopi myth.
Hey, she said they been had technology for our things.
Yeah, they had, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. They probably initiated it, but people believe that it's a natural cycle, right? And it's, they could have done this shit with fucking demons and magic. Like, it didn't have to be technology. They could have, whatever, done some weird Solomonic magic to get the world to fucking do some shit like that. Anyways. Who got that Chinese phone? Sorry. Yeah, Gozer the Gozerian, bro.
Hey, how would you
Bro,
develop
your phone is
make a giant?
We can't use that.
How about now?
Nah, you sound bad.
Hey, now. Is it better?
Yeah, it's better. Way better.
Okay, so if y'all could take a group of people, right, humans, and genetically engineer them, right, have them breed, how would you develop a giant, right? An 8 foot plus group of people, like would you take black people, the tallest people, like how would you do it?
well,
Well,
this is an
that's
interesting
tricky.
one. This is, I've always asked myself, because the basketball players are really tall, but
yeah, but you can see.
we all know that they aren't natural, right? They aren't. Most of them are probably fucking made in a lab.
But they be lying they height too on the Google. I see too. They be saying they 6.
Yeah, they got Pokemon stats, bro. They got fake stats. Hilarious.
Yeah, so
Gematria.
I don't know, man. Like,
well, I can tell you this: the only people that I've met in my life who are naturally extremely fucking tall, like 8 foot tall, and they just walk around like aliens, like they got long ass arms and they're just like they bike and shit or whatever, is Icelandic people from Iceland and like Norway and shit. They all have this like lanky, when they're kids, they look like lanky motherfuckers. So if we're talking about like the baseline, what they need, the essence for a giant of, it's probably something north of here, because I've looked into the concept of Hyperborea quite a lot, and it's basically that once you get beyond the pole, right, you would get to a place of less electromagnetic density, less downforce. It'd just be a state of pure ether, right? So it's a land of eternal sunshine, whatever the fuck, right? Because it's the center of the thing. In that zone, the gravity and everything would be less. So you would naturally, your bones would be able to expand, your form would be able to expand more, and you get taller. So anything that lived in that zone was fucking big.
So
you saying how we gonna make a giant? Like, you talking about like
where they came from?
No, that is true. The more gravity that's on your body, the more condensed your bones would be, the more condensed your muscles would be, which make you shorter, more compact. So the lighter the gravity, the taller you'll be, and then your body will naturally just adapt to the, like to the gravity that's there. So that's true. That's facts right there.
Tall grays, bro. Black hole sun, won't you come? It's all fucking. It's all there.
Yeah, but you said we supposed to pick up what race? Like you said, well, I get black people, white people.
No, yeah, that's what like. You could say that it's like the Norse people, like Norwegians and shit, but there's probably like everything in that zone. And now we only have like, you know, the few bloodlines that survived, and that the fucking whoever, like the French or whoever did it, the Spaniards, didn't kill off because they fucking enslaved them or whatever. And that's why all the people that we see now that are really tall in the streets and shit, they're not like fucking barbarians, like super tall fucking giant men. They're like just tall. Like they got diseases and shit. Like most tall, like extremely tall people have degenerative bone diseases and like bad stuff going on. So we only have the weak. Who was I talking to? This guy, Mudflood Memes. You guys should check him out if you're looking into Tartaria. Mudflood Memes. I'll just add him in this. He was talking about how like just the weak man and the submissive man, they coexisted, and the did I say the weak man and the fucking strong? Anyways, the strong man, he didn't submit to the forces that at bay, or he gave birth, he raped people, probably, like just whatever. It's the fucking animal man back then, pillaging and shit. That genetic weeds its way to the top, and then the submissive genetics, that they allow that breeds and it duplicates. So from there, that creates the bottom of the pyramid for most societies, is this like this submissive mindset, submissive brain stem. And that's how we get like the short fucking orphan, like the new generation of people, because we lived in a system for so long. It's just like domestication, basically. It's domestication. You take the nice dog and you breed it with the other nice dog, and then it gives birth to a puppy, you know. And that's why we don't have giant brawlic fucking barbarians anymore. And if we see them, there's people in fucking sports that were genetically modified in a lab, most likely.
So you saying LeBron James is genetically modified in the lab?
Probably, bro.
I believe.
Like when you look into gematria, like you know this shit's rigged and it's fucked up and it's got magnet rims and it's all like some weird game.
Nah, I believe it. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what about niggas we see played on the court? You think they? I'm talking about in real life. Like you said, they from the lab too.
No. I'm saying that there's people who knew that there was certain genetics that grew taller because of their fucking epigenetic history, and they threw that into.
I'm saying, like,
into
with
these
with
basketball
the
players
tallness,
and everyone else.
With the tallness, I'm saying, like, bro, I'm saying, like, I witnessed niggas on the basketball court in the hood do some NBA shit.
No,
you know
I'm not saying the skill. Like, obviously,
no, I'm saying, like, you think them niggas made in the lab too? Because they could do that? Like, you don't think that's...
Well, that's an interesting thing, because obviously they would have had to with these... If you look into the orphan trains and everything, they also had baby incubators, and they use black babies as well. So, baby incubator, what the fuck is that, right? They needed, like, machines to, like, keep these babies in pods and warm them up or something, send a frequency through them. So I think everyone is like genetically modified, right? This is like the Anunnaki went and fucking DNA spliced humans theory. So I think everyone, has a little bit of germ on them.
Yeah, hey, that
the germ.
That shit real.
And that's why they create the Hegelian dialectic of, oh, we don't like the Jews, right? When really, they do.
Oh, you think Kanye West really liked the Jews?
Oh, okay, well, the Kanye West thing, I'm talking about Nazis, right? Because Nazi, Ashkenazi Jews. But anyways.
Nah, yeah. They like the Jews.
And take the N and the Z, it makes a swastika. But for Kanye is fucking worshiping the cube, bro. Like, he literally said in an interview, he's like, God, the video game, the computer. And then he said, we see those people around Mecca running around the square or whatever. That's God, right? So his belief system is of Jewish origin, essentially. So he's like, when we break it down, the reason why he's saying like, I'm a Jew too. I would like, in the new interviews, like I would talk to them. I would be okay with talking to them, but they have to admit what they did, right? So he thinks that they're stable ground to even like, because he's one of them, right?
Right.
So there is no real hatred for this this other, because it is, everyone has a little germ in them, bro. Like, it's fucked. The Kabbalah, right? Like, they need that too. They need the Kabbalah. They need the Kabbalah, because it's the same thing as Norse mythology, right? And it's the same thing as Yoruba, Vodou, and all these things are talking about the same realm, same spiritual.
How we defeat these niggas though? You think they in the caves or something? I'm talking about these ancient,
like
occultists.
inner earth shit.
Yeah.
I think, I believe in inner earth. There's probably whole societies that we'll never see in the ground.
No, he's saying he Hebrew Israelite, bro.
Yeah, exactly. The fucking Hebrew Israelite.
So how do you feel about, the Hebrew Israelites being proclaimed in the melanated community, since they don't know that's the Kabbalah and all that? If you think that they falling for the okie doke?
Well, yeah. I mean, there is obviously, I think you can fall for the okie doke and you'll be fine or whatever, but you're not going to get far if you're like not digging past like just the word Jew being God's chosen. Like, you got to know who God is to the Jews.
Huh. So what it is, the devil?
Yeah.
I mean, how we gonna stop these niggas though? We gotta eventually get out the internet and stop them, right?
Yeah, man, this is the fucking truth, bro. We gotta figure out, like, how are we gonna get people to realize that there's something to stop here, and rather it's not a fucking game of picking sides. It's just a force that makes sides. It makes people move around the square. It forces people into, like, we need to unify and figure that out instead of fucking creating gangs and shit and picking sides when all the sides have been created by the prime mover, the fucking center of the wheel.
Do you believe the Holocaust actually happened?
Dude, come on.
That's what somebody wanted. They said.
Someone commented that. I don't think that it happened to the degree that we understand it to be. It didn't. There wasn't any sort of like, adamantium came up on here and he literally said it. It was more like a prison or whatever the fuck. And yeah, like the gas chambers had wooden doors. There's just so much evidence that, when you ask a Jew, they're like, oh, maybe it wasn't 6 million, but it was 600,000. And I'll always say 600 something, 6,000, whatever. That's all a code, literally. If you break down this whole Auschwitz code and the 127s and why they were released on 127, one of them is Ponzi scheme, and that aligns with 6 million Jews and Adolf Hitler. Think about it. How do all those equal 127 in the Francis Bacon cipher?
So you saying, based on that, it's either orchestrated, so kind of fake?
Yeah, it was orchestrated.
That's all. You gotta put it in niggas' terms.
Yeah. But with the gematria, of course, guys, you gotta look into this shit. It's cool. Like, they literally tell you it's a Ponzi scheme, right? It was a switch up, changing of who's ruling the world, but on their terms. It was on their terms, right?
Yeah.
It was in the terms and conditions and the deal. And Adolf Hitler is a match with Ponzi scheme and 6 million Jews.
Yeah,
is that a coincidence?
They said Adolf Hitler black now. They over here said that Hebrew Israelites are saying Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, he was claiming claiming the MK Ultra fucking Christ.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't. If I was people, I wouldn't be trying to claim that Adolf Hitler was black. Man,
That's
if
the
y'all
Hebrew
know,
Israelites.
yeah, man, if y'all like, but they ain't doing the research. Like, if they know it's the group that, like turned into the Nazi Party, that Theosophical, secret society group that was connected to Helen Blavatsky and Besant and all them niggas, in New York and in
Thrill
India.
Society, the Thule Society.
Yeah, Thule Society turned into the Nazi, Nazi Party, whatever. And his favorite book was the what the fuck is it called, man? Man, it was a 7 Root Races book. Man, I forgot what it's called. And which the Secret Doctrine. Yeah. So if I don't go but when it comes to race, like, it's to be stuck on race to me is the stupidest thing. Each race has a specific abilities that allows them to operate this planet. Some may have physical, better abilities. Some may have mental better abilities. Some may have other abilities. You know what I mean? But for us to fight over which one's better and more superior, I think that's stupid. I think that if we all understood consciousness and all understood the shit, then we would work together and use these abilities to, let's say, master this planet and master our solar system and then so on and so forth. But niggas ain't thinking like that. You know what I mean? They want to fight on whose race is more superior, whose race is more this.
Yeah, they want to fight on religion. They want to fight on, a paradigm. People need a paradigm. Right? And then in that paradigm, deception can occur. Right? They need a fucking chessboard to play on. It's like, have you ever tried just playing on the grass? Just thinking about things as they are. Not being like, oh, this is the devil, this is that, this is fucking no. This reminds me of the book that I read.
Yeah.
You gotta process this shit. Just take away all the fucking bullshit of whatever you've been programmed with, right? People can't do that. They need to. Oh, it's me. It's my grandpa. He was a Mason, and that's because whatever. Doesn't always have to connect back to
Yeah, it's time to move forward and say, fuck the Roman and Egyptian Empire.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck their whole system. Fuck their history. Fuck it all. Now let's be those Tartarians. Let's be the wise men who were groups of people. It wasn't just, one race. Like, when I talk about the really tall, whatever, it's just what I was saying earlier about the whole weeding out shit. It's not that it was because certain people were stronger and shit. It was literally because of culling, racial culling. There was black giants, there was whatever. So that was a state of being. That was a level of consciousness. And there's what's his name? Can't really say it. Greatest N-word alive, whatever. He always talks about how the Titans or the Phoenicians or whatever, they were multiracial because it was a state of being. It was a state of consciousness that they had accessed that allowed them to get bigger and larger. And I think that because we've been hamster caged in this new world, we just don't ever see that. We don't ever see we don't see people flourishing. They're just in a fucking office box, fucking getting $15 an hour, like a little rat with its fucking water. So we got to realize, we've been taken off from a real God level of existence, and they want to convince us that God level of existence was regressive and negative and bad. Right? That's through the Bible and everything else. So we gotta fucking get past their little Roman system, man. Learn gematria.
Everybody gonna be like, learn gematria. Some people gonna be like, fuck gematria. Hey, gematria is cool to learn if you know how to use it in the now and
Like, I don't know why people are fucking... They always want to say it's demonic. This is demonic. It's like, what do you call fucking demonic, bro? Demonic is truth at that point. Like, are you just scared of fucking getting spooked in your boots? Like, really? For real this time? Like, you can decode your whole fucking... Whatever book you're reading, whatever... You just went to a hotel, and it's got a fucking... It's got a time clock as a symbol, right? Just type in the name, and oh, it equals 93. I wonder why. Because the place I was just at was probably a fucking Aloosh center. They're using all those little rooms in this giant box to fucking siphon energy. Jewish mysticism, bro. It's in your phone. Your phone is the fucking black cube. And if people don't know why I keep saying that that's a Jewish thing, look up a tefillin. In Judaism, they wrap a fucking black cube on their palm, and they put it on their forehead. And it's like this, it's literally just a black cube. And they wrap it around their arms, like tight, like a heroin fucking band. And it says that it brings them closer to God. So, yeah. Fucking weird.
Appreciate you sliding through the lab and cooling it with us, man. I'm finna hop off and take care of some business real quick.
Alright.
Unity, everybody.